serious welder, I really don't have a good welding setup. I'm using an old workbench with a piece of 1/8" steel plate set on top of it. Definitely not the most ideal circumstances, but it's what I got right now. For my design, I'm trying to accomplish a basic 3-shelf cart that I've seen used in many commercial carts as well as some custom ones. And I'm just tacking together the lower shelf right now that will eventually hold the wheels and the uprights that will also hold the upper 2 shelves. One thing you'll see me using a lot of during these tack welds is these little angled magnets. They do a great job of holding everything in both 90 and 45 degree angles. And you'll see right here I'm using them to hold up the 2nd and 3rd shelves as I just tack them in as well. This diagonal support served 2 main purposes. One obviously was to give support to the uprights and the shelves, but the other was I just thought it kind of gave it a cool look. And now I am just tacking in all of the cross supports for the shelves so I can put some sheet metal on them. After the main frame was pretty much finished, I then started on a little toolbox or tote that was going to also act as a drawer on the 2nd shelf. This is actually galvanized steel, and I didn't quite get all of the galvanizing off when I was welding, so you'll see some not too good smoke here in a couple of the shots. But once it was pretty much all finished together, I finished up the corners with some extra welds and then sanded them off. And overall I was pretty happy with it. It was my first experience really welding on some thin sheet metal, and overall it turned out pretty cool. Okay, so it's all done and I'm pretty happy with the way it turned out. It's pretty much the 3-shelf cart that I was planning on, with enough room to put a plasma cutter or something on the bottom, as well as some shelves and little rolling options. So let me grab the camera, let me kind of show you everything in a little more detail, and then I'll show you what it looks like with the welder and other tools on it. Okay, starting off with the top, obviously this is where the main welder is going to sit, and it's got a front handle and a back handle. These can also double as places to put clamps and different things like that. I left these open because I may have some future plans for these for like a little side folding table, but I'm not sure quite yet. Moving down to the 2nd shelf, this is my sliding option. I made this, you saw me weld some sheet metal together. The outsides came out pretty nice. But the insides are not finished because I just didn't really want to finish those. But anyway, this can just function basically as a drawer as it is, or if I want to, I can take this out to a project or whatever I might need. It's just got a simple grate down here, so I could just use it like that. Moving down to the bottom shelf, my primary intention is to put a plasma cutter down here or something like that. But if I don't decide to do that, I made the shelf big enough to where it can take a standard milk crate in case I just want to store extra tools, clamps, and things like that. Moving on to the back, you'll notice I have a couple of hooks right here and here to be able to hold up ground clamps or lead cables or a welding helmet, whatever I want. And then you'll notice I've got 2 bars here that I can also clamp things to or just store clamps. And then down here is the bottle bracket. This is just a simple piece of copper sheet metal that holds the bottle in place, and I just thought it gave it a pretty classy look. And then on the other side, I installed, just with that same metal that I made these hooks with, just a little bar here that I can hook some clamps or a angle grinder or whatever like that. And then I also installed some hooks down here to be able to hold some power cords and different things like that in a little more of a kind of hidden fashion. So they're just mounted to the back side of the bottle bracket. So now let's see what this looks like with everything installed on it.